Nox, and we're here to teach you a little bit about painting.
Hello, I'm Gina, and I'm here to learn how to be painted.
Well, hello, Nox and Gina.
The Kyrie Warrior
Hi.
from the Age of Annihilation set from heroScape. It's a base box. It's coming out. It's very exciting. This figure is amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It is amazing. It's a good choice for figure.
Riding on top of a chimera.
Steve.
Named Steve, we decided. That's not official.
It's not official.
But we're just our loving...
Will that be official now? I think the community is going to overwhelmingly either cancel or promote that. What do you guys think? Steve, yes or no? Comments below. Let me know. Steve, yes or no?
This is a very easy process, and hopefully everybody can follow along.
So it looks like they've primed this,
Just a handful can really...
because the original model is down there. The unpainted model is right in front there. And then it looks like they've primed it in black and then did a highlight white up front.
And it is good to use them because they can thin a certain way and they're going to make your models look really nice. But there's no rule that's going to keep you from using something that you might already have at home. We should probably just get started, huh?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's dive right in.
Okay, so this is been primed.
Yeah, so a prime, and it's really important. This is how the figure comes, if you look at this here. And this is a plastic. It's a durable, flexible plastic. It's not going to break. The figure has been built for you. So sometimes models come in multiple parts.
Sure.
The great thing about these is that they're all ready to go.
Yeah.
The only thing that you have
It's a great selling point for heroScape.
Now, priming is when you put a layer of a kind of a textured paint. It's very subtle, but it allows the other paint to stay on the model.
Something to grip to.
Yeah, it's pernicious. It's going to hang in there.
Yeah.
It's going to make sure that you don't lose things. Otherwise, if you just paint your model with the model paints that you have, you're probably going to rub the models off when the paint off when you're playing them.
Okay.
Playing with them at the games.
Which is funny because I've primed a lot of figures and that still happens.
And the way that
I don't know if I'm using the wrong prime or whatever, but it still happened before. It still has happened.
we painted it black and then we just sprayed from one direction with some...
Oh, it's exactly what I just said. That's
And
awesome.
the reason that I did that was because it creates an underpainting of shadow. So we're going to use our paints, but we're going to thin them down. And by
I'm gonna
doing
have to try
we're
that.
gonna allow
I haven't tried that yet. I'm still learning.
depth and
I
darkness
am working on a painting video where I talk about my painting experience as I started to learn. I only started a couple months ago, so
enjoy the tutorial. The first thing that you should know is that you're going to
yeah. But I only started a couple months ago.
I've got a brush.
I know that oftentimes you might hear that you need a lot of brushes or you need certain types of brushes, but really you just need one good brush, and that can be the kind that Army Painter provides within some of their box sets, or it could be something else. But what you're looking for is something with a sharp tip, and what the belly, which is the top part of the brush there where all the bristles are, that is where the paint and the water, all that collects right there, and you kind of hold it. And so that allows you to transfer the paint to the model without having to dip back and forth a lot. When people paint models, I think a lot of times they think, this is a small figure.
Sure.
I need a small brush.
Yes.
And that isn't true. What you need is a really sharp tip, because a sharp tip is going to allow you to get into the details and transfer the paint.
Okay,
without drawing
that's a
out
really good
to the model.
tip.
So it's the perfect brush to get us started.
A sharp tip for you all is to have a nice tip.
It's important
Let's
to
talk
keep it
about
clean.
tips. Where this is a tipping show. Give me a tip.
And it's just simple water.
Put on a nice tip for me in the comments below.
Yes.
Non-monetary tips, actual life tips, heroScape tips. This is your tipping opportunity to tip me, and Nox has just tipped all of us. We're tipping on the edge here.
I didn't know that.
There are mica flecks inside of it.
Yes.
And the mica flecks can actually get onto your brush and get into your water, and then if you're
He's
painting
talking about
water or something else
metallics,
and you dip it into the
metallic
water that you were
paints.
using, you might transfer those little sparkles elsewhere onto your model.
Yeah, this is actually a really good tip. I did not know
Model,
this.
which you're allowed to do. That's a choice.
Sure.
But do it as a choice.
When I was painting the Maro dividers, I was using 3 different metallic paints to paint their armor pads and their claws and stuff. And I only have one. Well, I have multiple water cups, but I was only using one at the time. But if I am painting a model that requires, let's say, skin tone or cloth tone or whatever, different colors, but then also using a special paint with the metals, I'll make sure that I use 2 water cups.
When you're painting small models like this, one of the biggest things to remember is that contrast is absolutely the best thing that you can provide to your model. that means color contrast, that means tone contrast. So the darkness and the lightness of your model together is going to help you, because your models are all going to be seen from a distance, right?
Yes.
And they're very small.
Yes.
So it's what I like to call the 3-foot rule. If it looks good from 3 feet, you've done it right. Okay.
It's a good rule. It's a solid rule.
You can use anything. You can use pill bottles with a little bit of poster tack on it. You can use double-sided tape. All this is going to do is prevent us from touching our model while we're painting, because there's nothing worse than doing a lot of like really intricate paint work and then putting your big thumbs all over it and having it smudge.
I mean, I've been putting my thumbs all over my paints, and maybe that's why they keep falling off.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
But
these are readily available. These are a little fancier, but you can use anything at all.
I think I'll pick up something like that. That can't be too much.
Have appropriate posture, and that you're using.
You know, or eventually, you know, like a little Valentine's gift, Easter gift, if people do those kind of gifts, or just wait for Christmas or my birthday, and I'll have somebody pick one of those up for me. I'll put it on a list. But I think it's a really cool tool. That's pretty useful,
Great.
All right.
especially for my manly man hands.
You know, from the bottom up, and kind of like working.
Plus, I'm also a pretty sweaty guy.
Sure.
My hands get really
the bottom layers of color might be
pretty
and
moist.
then working up slowly, so that we're choose colors that are going to stack on top of that. So we're not, for instance, painting these wings when we still have to get in here and paint the fur of the battle cat.
Got it.
Because then you might transfer paint to places you don't want it.
Sure.
And you can always mess up. That's the great thing about this hobby, is that, you know, mistakes are absolutely allowed, and it's really the best way to learn. But you can always clean things up. And so starting down here, kind of in the deep recesses of the model, working our way up with some colors and kind of getting to the finish line is the best way to go about it.
Okay.
So we've got a couple of colors here.
That's an interesting approach, because one of the approaches that I will talk about in my heroScape video, and I will in my painting video, and I will explain now, is I kind of do like step-by-step process, as in like layers. So for example, when I was starting with my spiders, I would do all of them in like one color, and then go over it with minor details, and then finish it off with like, you know, the little, like, for example, the eyes and stuff. So I kind of just did like layer, like the big amount of stuff, you know, cover it in the whole paint, and then do minor details like little stripes on their legs, and then like the last I'll do like the eyes.
Right? And so even if you feel like your paint is still okay and you're still using it, you might find
and that approach might be different from coming to like Raelin. Like, I don't know how I'd approach this first. And I think I probably do exactly what they're doing, is they're starting with the Chimera and using orange, because I'd be like, oh, I get to finally paint with orange. Awesome, let's go.
And just get a few drops of water, and you can put it there in the palette next to the paint that you're using. And depending on the paint that you're using, you can kind of choose, how thick you go with it. But if you mix it,
I still feel like that's a lot of paint. I don't use a lot of paint. I put like little driplets, just little like one drop.
So it's opaque, but it's still runny, and it moves, and it has a definite. It slides down the side of your palette or whatever you might be using, right?
Okay.
So and you can always work with it as it goes along. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time.
Okay.
But the thinner your paints are, the better. You can always add more paint. It's harder to take it away.
Okay.
Very true.
So with
Very
with
true.
Our models in hand, we can go ahead and just start putting on a first layer. Now,
I feel ready.
yeah, I know. And like, this is kind of, you follow your instinct here, but you're just going to follow along the figure. We're going to paint some of the fur, work our way around, and then when we're done with that, we'll talk about another part of it.
Awesome.
All right?
Okay,
Are you
great.
ready?
Yes,
Let's
I'm
do
ready. It's always the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
First stroke is done. Now you can see that because we've thinned our paint down, you can still see underneath it. You can see the lightness and the darkness of the primer coat that we used. We can use a couple of different coats if we like, to be able to...
See, now I want to paint.
Or we can
I want to paint now.
and give it a kind of a dramatic look. Those are the great choices that you
I just don't have enough
when you're doing
desk
this.
space to put it here. I'll have to figure out a way to film myself painting somewhere else in the apartment, because I have this giant
Okay.
container here that folds out to be a studio. This folds out. And it has everything I need in here. So anytime, if I ever want to paint, all I have to do is put this on a table. That's all I need. But I will talk more about this in a future video coming out soon.
You've got that sharp tip. And also, every once in a while, I'll rinse off my brush.
And then eventually, when I do make that video, you can. I'll put that in the description below here, so that if you're watching this in the future and the video is already out and you want to be referred to that video for some odd reason, it's there. Okay, so they did do cuts, because there's no way they did that fast.
They have a mica flake inside of them that gives them that kind of metallic sparkle. These are called true metallic paints.
So I didn't get to see, they didn't say what color orange they were using, because I am currently using the Army Painter paints. That's what I have in my container down there, is the Army Painter. I bought this big pack of paints. There's like 50 paints in there. And I got ones with metal paints too. There's like 3 different shades of metal. And I'm curious to know what one they're using here. I wish they would just show and say, hey, we're using, you know, this paint color name.
I'm going to pass this off to you. We're using a little bit of a gunmetal right now.
Gunmetal. Thank you. Okay.
With a silver metal, and we're going to do highlights later on, which we'll talk about. But for now, we're just going to start with something dark to get a good base down. All right, so let's get in here and let's paint the metal. Obviously, you can see where it is.
Every part that's armor.
I know. There's so much of it. This battle cat is definitely ready to battle. Much like our other paints, we're putting down the metallics, and it's not that different from the others. We're looking to.
This is a really good video. This is really educational.
I think a mistake that a lot of new miniature painters do is that they go too.
I'm taking notes too, by the way.
And if you're fitting things out and taking your time,
taking notes. Soundtrack.
Coats of paint down on the model, and that's perfectly fine. It's part of the process.
And he does a really good job talking about this. Really reminds me of another guy I know named RenegadeCon. Makes really good paint videos.
Not to just go ahead and start painting some of that armor as well.
Of course she bought it at the same store.
She bought it at the same store. She wants it to match.
Yeah, she's got to match her fierce best friend.
I'm painting kind of the back part of the armor here, and it's in between the wings, and you can see how it's kind of difficult to get back there.
Oh, yeah.
And you can just kind of like work with your brush.
Oh, a 2-camera system? Oh, I can do that.
Some of that's just.
Oh, wait, there's other camera angles. Damn. I only have 2 tripods. I need 3. I need 3 tripods now. Oh, there's a pan. Oh, there's somebody filming them. Oh, I don't have that either.
For our battle cat, we've got some metallic color laid down for the armor, and I think we're ready to move on.
Yes.
I think we're ready for some red.
Yes.
We can paint Raelin's wings, and you've got a pair of wings here with feathers.
All right, what color are you guys using?
You're gonna see all
what color? Because one thing I'm going to bring this up right now, actually. One thing they released with this week's RenegadeCon is this. This is a painting guide. Every single figure that they release from now until whenever will have a painting guide, which is awesome. But I have no idea how to read this. And I reached out to Scaper himself, and I was talking to him and asking him some questions about this. Like, what does this mean? And he says this is a Pantone PMS. PMS, I still don't understand what that means. I guess it's a painting marking system? I don't know. But I was like, oh, well, maybe this is what's on the Army Painter, these codes. And I was looking on the paints that I had, and there is codes on there, but they're not these codes. And he had said that this is a general code. Everybody's eyes look differently, and so even though this orange may look like the larva orange that's in the Army Painter, or it might look like a different color orange from another brand of paints. And what really makes this, helpful is it's a general term for all colors. So I guess, actually, what I'll have to do is doing research for the painting video. I will have to go to Lowe's or Home Depot and see if I can find or ask about this system, and if this is the same thing they're doing for the paints that you find there. When you get the little tabs, when you're looking for paints to paint your walls, they'll have numbers on them. And I'm curious if these are the same numbers, or will they have another number system? I know when Josiah was explaining this to me, he's like, oh, Joe, this is quite complicated, and you have to figure out different hurdles by using different paint hex codes, and every brand has their own code system, and I have to look for, I can choose a file and put a file in, and then and I can just like, oh, it's black, and it'll tell me what the color is, you know, or whatever. I can just literally click on, I think on here. Yeah, and it tells me leather, white, shadow, and I can add these. But this is this is shopping from. That's a whole different video. I'm not explaining it all. Sorry. I will let RenegadeCon deal with that. I don't know anything about this.
And again, it's all about the colors that you choose. You can always mix paints.
But if you do have any questions, you can leave the questions in the description, in the comment section, or reach out to RenegadeCon and ask him as well. I'm sorry. Hold on. The battle box in the background. I guess when they did the unboxing video, they put all the tiles back, and they didn't put a wellspring water tile. I'm sorry. I feel like I had to point that out. I think that's funny. So it's just a normal water tile in that spot, and not a wellspring water tile. I just had to point that out. Sorry. Go ahead.
I think the important thing is not to get too intimidated by the process, and to just find what works best for you.
Yeah.
It's better to not hold your breath, I find. I mean, everybody's different. But if you're like painting and you're like, oh, I don't want to mess up, and you're holding your breath, you might cause yourself to shake more than you intend. It's best to take a deep breath and then relax it as you're painting.
Painting is a really relaxing thing. It's a lot of fun for me.
Managed to get all the base coat down in the model.
And
we've painted the flesh.
I really don't know how to really describe it now. I think once I make my painting video, I'll be able to articulate it easier for all of you that are like on the fence about painting, or like, no, I'm never gonna paint, but good for you, man. Because I don't think, as of right now, with heroScape being in a painted and unpainted option right now, a lot of people are not going to be doing the unpainted option right now. But I'm hoping and praying that between RenegadeCon, myself, and some others out there, even Tales of Valhalla, he's been starting to paint around the same time I started painting. So I think what's going to be really important is to just get more of a community consensus about painting, and try to just, you know, like, you can paint or you don't have to paint. That's clearly what the option is. But it's a really fun thing to do, and to be more intimate with your figures. If that does not sound wrong to you, you could really have a more personalized experience when playing with Raelin if you paint her, opposed to not painting her. So I think playing with my spiders at ScapeCon will be a lot more of a fun experience for me, because I didn't just buy them. I bought the 3D models unpainted and painted them myself. And I think that's such an achievement for me as someone that, you know, I used to draw and color and do some painting on paper, but I've never painted miniatures before, and I've always watched my best friend Glenn do it, and I always thought, man, I really would love to get into this. I don't know where to start, and I'm so happy that I finally allowed my buddy Glenn to help teach me on how to paint, and I'm so glad that I fell in love with it. And it's been a really nice, relaxing thing. So if I ever feel stressed, I'm gonna go do paint instead of going to play, let's say, Rainbow Six Siege. Even though I've been playing Siege recently and not painting, but that's only because there's challenges and new season. Doesn't matter. Getting off topic. Sorry.
If you don't let it dry and you start putting other paint over it, you're going to find that it moves and that it kind of bleeds into the colors.
Why are you blowing on it?
And you're going to have a lot of...
I don't think blowing is something that you need to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so just be cautious.
You know, with me talking this entire time, it's really been hard to catch the cuts. But they are, I'm sure they are cutting, they're smart. They're cutting in between where they're changing the different angles.
Okay, please.
Layer painting is where
Because it doesn't take like 30 minutes to paint a figure like this. It does take more time. Because you have to wait for the paints to dry. And even if the paints could dry within like 15-20 minutes, but, you know, I would say the longest time I've ever spent to paint figures, or just paint in general, because like what I like doing is, for example, when I was painting the spiders, I paint all the spiders, and then in between I was also painting the dividers. So I was letting spiders dry, and I was painting the dividers, and then the dividers were dry, and then I go back to the spiders. So when I'm painting, I'm usually trying to paint multiple things at a time. So even when I was doing the spiders, I would even be like, okay, I'm going to paint all the spiders, and then as one would dry, I would go back, and once I'm done with the others, go back to the first one I painted and then do detail work. So like within a 2-hour time frame, I could paint all the spiders. And at the time, I was painting 16 spiders. It was, 12 spiders. It was 4 squads, and they're 3 figures each. So 12.
Kind of think about where they are and how you want to replicate the light. There's 1,000 ways to do that. But, you know, a good rule of thumb is that it's probably coming from above.
Yes. The sun.
Yeah, there are exceptions, but, you know, for the most part, it happens that way. And so...
Yeah, I gotta find a figure to do that with. I don't know what figure I'd want to do that with.
Paint and just work it over the areas that you want to have a little brighter.
Okay.
And make sure not to paint over everything, and try to keep it out of the crevices so that you still have areas that are dark.
Like I said before, I like this video. This is a really good,
along the edge.
fun video to watch. I think just because too the model is really gorgeous. The Raelin model is so good.
Yeah.
And it's really going to make the details pop out again, and it's about that contrast, right?
Definitely.
I'm going to take a little bit of this deep blue color, and I'm going to get a little water into my brush and thin it out just a touch.
Yes.
And I've watered it down a bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the black wings.
Yes.
And I'm going to do the same thing with the layer painting. And I'm going to actually paint this dark blue over some of the areas of the wings. So like the
Okay,
the
I'm not at
spines,
why.
Kind of where the musculature is. And I'm going to just drag my brush along those little sharp details. And I'm going to pull those out with the blue. And even though I'm painting it blue, since the majority of that object has been painted black, when you see it, your eye is going to be tricked.
Yeah.
And you're going to read it as black, but it's going to have all the depth that it should have.
You're paint washing
Purely optional.
with blue? But why blue, though?
But this is just adding a little bit of extra detail to the model. And it doesn't take very much time to do that.
No, not at all.
Right?
Look at those toes be popping.
The toes are popping now, right? Because
those toe beans are popping.
You got the darkness.
I can't
and
see the
light,
toe bean,
and it
sorry.
builds the contrast, so you can see it from far away.
Look at that toe. It's so cool.
Okay, I can see it now.
And a little bit of pink, and I'm going to just quickly touch on the wings and do a little layer there, and then we'll move on to details.
What's with all the paint? But explain why you're choosing those colors, though. It's cool that that's an option. Like, I know that's an option.
Okay.
Yes.
Last steps. Here we are. We've gone on this
But
journey.
why did you choose blue and pink for the wings?
Yes.
And we're
Is it because, like, those are night colors and you're trying to get some certain shadow? Like,
you can go as far as you want. I mean, this
explain yourself just a tad, please, Sir Knox.
heroScape right now.
I would love to know. I will check the description after the video is over to see if we can find more Knox videos.
First of all, because of the primer and everything like that, the base is now this kind of gray.
Because I would watch more of his content if he does do content. I assume he does. He talks really well.
He does.
And we're gonna go ahead and paint like gems and all the little things. You've already started.
I got excited.
Yeah, that's the best news that I've heard all day is that you're so into the process that you're enjoying yourself and moving on. I think I'm gonna start. I'm gonna take a little red myself and do kind of what you did with the blue. But if you want,
You know what I'd love to do? I'd love to do a video like this with somebody that doesn't want to
go ahead
paint.
and paint the base.
I'm going to force him to paint and be like, okay, well, after we painted and you never wanted to paint, would you ever do it again? He goes, no, I never do want to do this again.
Helm. There are
That's my goal. I would love to do that. That'd be great.
So I'm gonna put those red as well.
Cool.
Yeah, right.
I'm putting Steve through a pedicure.
Yeah, I think that our battle cats are very ready to go.
I love
They
it.
look great. Are you painting them with little purple toenails?
Yeah. This really feels like the part where you can add a lot of storytelling.
And you can do whatever you like. I actually like that you added a blue gem. I'm gonna add, I think, a purple gem
Nice.
on the center here.
Yeah, canonically, I believe the gem is green
Absolutely.
for the Mind Shackle gem that Kimoshi puts on Raelin, which I think I would do if I was painting. I think that's what it is on the model as well. But yeah, there are some models in the first wave that I do not agree with when it comes to the paint schemes. For example, Xenothrax. Not a fan of Xenothrax's paint scheme. I really love the one from Gen Con 2021, and I would love to get the unpainted master set and repaint Xenothrax.
Turn it upside down and flip it. Try to get a better angle at it.
And it's a shame paying another 125 to really for one figure. But there are some other figures there. There's some other figures there I really like to repaint. And I think it'd be a lot of fun practice to do like an alternate paint scheme for Raelin, like paint Raelin good Raelin, not with all the reds. Do more blues like her OG style, and put her on the battle cat. I think that'd be so cool, and maybe have a customized Raelin.
Just kind of taking 3 fingers and just kind of going.
Yep.
Look at that. Perfect.
I think I'm going to move over and I'm going to do the last step for me, which is going to be to add a little bit of color onto the base, and then we're done.
Sweet. Okay, I'm doing the tiger stripe.
I don't know if I would color the base. I'm actually going to be practicing that with a figure. That's not even a figure; it's a boat from High Ground. From High Ground Tiles, they have a 3-hex in a line, 3-hex line boat, and I want to paint the base blue because the boat's going to be in water most of the time. So I kind of wanted to play with different shading of blues, and maybe do take some of the metal paints and kind of put little dots every so often to make it look sparkly. Try to do my own sparkly water on the base. That's the only time I'll ever really color a base. Because these are stickerless, I don't know if I would want to paint the base. I'm unsure. I'm unsure about that. If you do paint, let me know if you're going to be coloring the bases. Painting the bases. I'm on more of the I'd love to rebase them to put stickers type of deal. If I was getting, for example, if I got the unpainted box, I might debase them and then put them on new bases with stickers. That's a possibility that I was thinking about. That would definitely be a little bit more expensive to do that, but as of right now, that's what I think I would like to do, just to have a difference between the from AOA painted and AOA unpainted.
Yeah, sometimes you can just scrape it right off.
Scrape it off.
Yeah, I mean, there are plenty of ways to move forward with it. I mean, I've had these and they've been a total mess, and I just spray paint it white. Go over it from
nice.
there. Yeah. Look at this. Well, I think we have a lot to be proud of. We have finished our Raelin. We've come a long way, but I mean, look at this amazing
We gotta
model.
do the spin.
They came out really good. They came out really good.
I'm super excited about this. I'm very thankful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you were able to do this with me. It's really
I am
nice
trying
have somebody here
to
walk through this with me.
really comprehend the fact that I'm watching a painting video of a HeroScape model in 2024.
Having somebody ask questions helps.
It really is.
And I know Rogue just started a little while ago with his videos, but this is a mainline company making HeroScape content to talk about the new HeroScape. This is nuts to me. I am... Well done. Nice job, Nox and Gina. Well done. Good job on your paints.
Definitely.
I'm excited to paint Raelin when I eventually do get around to ordering the unpainted stuff. Very cool. Hey, so that was the last of the videos from Gen Con talking about about unpaint. Sorry, whoa, hold on. That was the last of talking about videos from the RenegadeCon June special edition, which is really wordy. I don't know why they just didn't say Renegade June 2024. Anywho, thank you so much for watching. Regardless if you're watching the very long video or the short individual videos, I really do appreciate. Let me know in the comments below which video you found to be your favorite. This is so awesome that Wave 2 of heroScape will be coming in October. Please use my affiliate link, which will be in the description below. You can order Wave 2 now. You can also order Wave 1 now. But just like Jordan Gata said, do not bundle them. Because if you bundle them, you will get Wave 1 and 2 both in October, which is a no-no. You want it now in August, Wave 1. And of course, Wave 2 will be in October. So please use my affiliate link in the description. And don't forget, I'm not crazy. I'm Joe Crazy.